we can get fuel in the new fuel tank. Let's get into today's project. So what we're gonna start now is fuel tank vent. So we got our 5/8 inch hose, because there's a 5/8 inch hose barb on our tank. So the tank will vent itself through this hose, through this. This is a fuel air separator. We'll talk about that in a minute. And then depending on how the through hole will be set up, we gotta vent the hose out the side of the boat, and I either got this flush fit to go into the end of the hose like that, or this kind of 90-degree option that would go in the hose like that. I'm leaning towards this one because I'm pretty sure I would have to drill a smaller hole. That one, I believe, because it's a flush fuel vent, I'd have to make a hole that big, which is a lot bigger than a hole like that. But we'll see. It kind of depends on which one we pick. Kind of depends on if it's better to do a 90 for the hose or straight like that. So I think this one might be the winner, but we'll see. Okay, so this fuel air separator. The primary purpose for this is it separates fuel from air forced into the vent line by refueling, thermal expansion, and wave agitation. So vapors can escape the tank, but any fuel that tries to get out is returned back into the tank. So this is good because, like it says, these things are going to be set up to vent overboard, and it's really just to vent vapors. You don't want your fuel spilling overboard. Like, that's not good for the environment, right? And plus, there's liability associated with that. Fines, if you get caught, people get pissed. Like, just stuff you don't want to deal with. So this will help prevent that. So it's kind of big and bulky. This is the 5/8 model, so that will go into part of the hose. So it basically will just sit in line of the hose prior to the vent. So we got the unit itself, and then some hardware. This is interesting. Attention, this vessel is equipped with the Raycar Lifeguard Fuel Air Separator, which prevents fuel tank vent overflow while taking on fuel. Fuel will not spill overboard at the fuel tank vent during fueling. Take precaution to avoid fuel discharge at this fill port when the tank is full. Take precaution to avoid fuel discharge. Oh, you're supposed to put that near your deck fill? That's not gonna happen. I don't know what these are. Oh, that's probably if like for a 90-degree there. Interesting. Some zip ties, which I don't know, might not use that. And then some hose clamps that may be of questionable and dubious quality. And instructions. Cool. So, next step is plan the installation. Pretty cool. I think this one, fingers crossed, I think this one will go a lot easier than the deck fill. Because this hose is like smaller, easily bent, easier to work with. So yeah, I'll kind of get the parts together and we'll get going with the install. Bring you guys along. See you in a little bit. Okay. Here I am in the hole. I guess we could open this up. Yeah. It's not raining. It's just not very secure. Okay. I'm in the hole. And so the goal, see that fitting there with the orange cap on it, dust cap? That is for our vent hose. So we're gonna vent the tank using that. It's gonna come up, over, probably through this hole here, and then out the boat on that side. So that's the starboard side of the boat. So that's where we left off with the fuel fill, and now we'll just do the fuel vent, and then notice there's no more fittings on there. Everything will be hooked up, hooked up, hooked up. Yes. All right, this one's the winner, the 90 degree. So it's gonna mount back up in here, probably above our man overboard pole storage, and then it's gonna stick down like that. So that'll be on the outside of the hole, and that'll stick through down inside of the hole. And then the way this works is this piece and this little gasket are on the outside of the hole, and then this squeezes in on the inside of the hole and compresses it down and holds it in place. So, and then the 90 degree angle is going to be boom, perfect. So that's going to be how we do it. I also like this one too. I don't know, it just makes me feel more secure with these little this little grating in there, this little net screen, that's what it's called. Because spiders for whatever reason love the making a little home in the fuel vents, and then their little webs and nests and stuff and sacks, egg sacks can clog them up. So let's take a quick look at the existing vents. Boom, there it is. So, oh man, it's even loose. See the spiders in there? They love to get in there and make a little home. But notice how it is sloping this way. So, front of the boat's there. So as the water, as the boat's heeled over or whatever, as the water comes this way, it won't go up in there. It's not like a scoop. Let's take a look at this boat too. Almost identical setup. So front of the boat's there, and then it's sloped backwards. So the other thing to think about is where your sling's gonna go. So slings, when you get hauled out of the water, the boat kind of sits in these giant webbing straps, and they come up the side of your hole. So if they come up in the side of the hole and you have a fitting on the side of your hole like that, the strap could compress it, push against the hole. Not good. So we want to make sure any fittings we put on the outside of the boat aren't going to get in the way of those straps. So the way we can check that, at least on our boat, is we have these little markers. That marker there, and this marker here. So those are the places on the boat where when we pull in to get lifted up out of the water, the machine operator knows to put the straps right there. So these are the other vents. So that one's water, this one's fuel. That's, obviously the fuel one's gonna go away. So there's the aft end of where the strap would be resting on the boat. And so that's basically right kind of in the middle of our Dodger. So let's go take a look at what that would look like on the other side. Because we only have those little hook markers on the port side. So, right here in the middle of the Dodger, so the strap on the other side would come about right here. And we're gonna do our vent probably about like right in here. Maybe right in here. So somewhere around in here is gonna be where our new vent goes. So we're gonna be okay with the straps. Check out this boat. So newer boat, Beneteau like 46, I think. So beautiful boat, but look at how they have their vents hooked up. So they are facing this, facing the right direction. So as the water comes this way, water's not going to get in there. But it's almost like horizontal to the water line. So as water comes down, it could still find its way in there. I think this would be better if this was turned just a little bit to keep the water from flowing directly in. Anyway, so yeah, I think we'll be okay with that placement. And, I'm talking through it and making sure I think of everything that I possibly can before we drill the hole. So that's why I'm out here taking a look at other boats, seeing where our existing fittings are in relative to the water line and the tow rail. So I think we'll be okay there. Yeah, kind of just have to continue with the plan. I'm all right with that. Let's keep going. Guess what? In my least favorite lazarette. Okay, but I found a better way to route the fuel tank vent hose. So it comes through the bulkhead there. Previously, I was going to have it go under the step, like kind of up here, but I routed it under this deck drain hose over this deck drain hose under where the autopilot is mounted. There's a nice sturdy structural shelf here, and then it comes out through that little cutout on that structural shelf. So I'm avoiding going underneath our stern tie line here completely, and then we'll go up and mount things kind of behind our man overboard pole holder there. And yeah, might be a little hard to get to, but it's okay. That we kind of knew that it was going to be hard to get to because the man overboard pole is in our way. But I'm much more happy with the way that this is routed. It's going to keep it more out of the way under here and more protected. So, because this locker will, I climb in and out of here, obviously. I don't want to catch my foot or my leg on it. And then, this will be storage too when we're out cruising. So, lifting things in and out of here. We don't want to catch stuff on this fuel vent hose. So, this is a safer, more out of the way place, and actually gives me more mounting points too to mount it to the underside of this shelf here. So I'm happy about that. So now it's just a matter of mocking up how the vent fitting is gonna protrude and exit through the side of the hull. So I've taken some measurements. I'm going to do some more measurements and probably some more measurements. I'm probably going to write a little diagram drawing with my measurements because we got to get this right. I don't want to drill through the hole more than once if I don't have to. So yeah, we'll be very careful with our measurements and where we're going to be drilling. Okay, so I did my measurements and I know where this is gonna come through the hole. So it's gonna poke through the outside of the hole like that. And then this is gonna come down and hook up to a hose, which hooks up to our separator guy here. Okay, got our catch bag set up to catch any or catch as much fiberglass drill shavings as we can. That's our spot. Level and straight. Okay, we're in. Yeah, so now what I'll do is I'm just going to take my drill bit, poke it in there, and I'll just leave it there. So we'll go into my least favorite lazarette and see where that drill bit's poking through. Fingers crossed. Right there. Nice. Let's go retrieve our drill bit and put on the big drill bit with the hole saw and cut the frickin' hole. Let's do it. It's still scary, even though it's in the right spot. It's still scary, but we'll be okay. We'll be okay. Look at all that. All of that plastic would have gone in the water if we didn't catch it. I'm happy about that. And we drilled a hole in the boat. Okay. Let's talk about this setup. So the idea is we're going to poke this through first. Like so. And then this, of course, goes in like that. Cool. So, if for whatever reason that fitting falls out, should fall out, like, I don't know, a big boat comes by and then rocks the boat, or big gust of wind heels the boat over, who knows, right? It's boats. You never know what could happen on a boat. So, the idea is if this were to fall out, boom, it can't come out. In fact, you could just let it hang there. Check that out. Nice and smooth edges. Might do that one a little bit more, but look at that. It's all nice and smooth and beveled. Maybe I'll do that one a little bit more. But no sharp corners or edges that have a tendency to crack further, and then they spider crack out. Because gel coat is pretty brittle. It's tough. It's good stuff, but it tends to get brittle over time, and spider cracks can form. But yeah, so I'll just do a little bit of sanding on a couple of these parts here, and then we'll acetone it. We'll acetone it and call it done. I just heard a weird bird. Probably a pterodactyl. They're coming around these parts. Did you hear that? Oh, not a pterodactyl. Look at that. Stop looking at me, swan. It's not a swan. But what movie that is that from. All right, fitting is nice and tight in on the inside. Squeezed it down with the bolt, and yeah, our two vents sticking down. So, and then the little gasket here, it's definitely compressed. It's kind of bulging out. We got a nice good seal right there. So I think, yeah, that's pretty good now. And the sun's coming out too.
All right, there is the vent hose on that.
I've got the vent hose on. Excuse those wires, we gotta clean those up later. That's for the autopilot again. So I got my vent hose there. So now it's just a matter of cutting this off here, somewhere around here, to secure to the top of that, and this job is done. Boom goes the dynamite. Check it out. Got it hooked up there, there, there. Feels good. Feels good. We got that whole project done in basically one day. That might be a record. Let's see, it took me probably about 5 hours, 6 hours. Not bad. Well, maybe like 6 or 7, because we did route the we did put the hose on the top of the tank, on the fitting on the tank the other day. So yeah, overall not bad. I don't really like that this is just dangling here. Like when the boat rocks, that thing can move, and if for whatever reason it does fill up with fuel because we have a venting issue, it'll get heavy. I mean, it's not heavy right now, it's just a bit of plastic bulb thing, but it could get heavy. So I'm going to come back and come up with a way to secure that to the hole so it doesn't flop around if we're in a seaway. So anyway, but that's good enough for today, and it could be used. It's useful. Like, we can put fuel in the tank now. Doesn't mean we can start the engine because we still have to do the exhaust, but fuel can go in the tank, and that is an amazing feeling. It is, the whole fuel system is all hooked up. There is some, a little bit of detail that I'm going to want to work on and, make it mine, but as of right now, it's good enough. We can use the boat, we can use the fuel tank, and we'll be able to get this puppy off the dock with just hooking up the exhaust. Feels pretty good. So you helping with the recycling? That's so nice. That's so nice. Thank you. You're such a big girl. Yeah, big girl, big girl. Yeah. Good job.